All right, my name's Robin Hamlin. I'm from St. Louis. With these recent reports coming out of our MIAC Center, I'm very concerned that we've got some employees in our State Highway Patrol and in the MIAC offices that are committing treason. When we've got people who are in there and actively working against our constitutions, that's treasonous. Our law enforcement personnel take an oath when they are hired. Just the same, very similar to the oath you all took. The oath they take can be found in the Missouri Constitution, Article 7, Section 11, and the oath states, before taking office, all civil and military officers in this state shall take and subscribe an oath or affirmation to support the Constitution of the United States and of this state, and to demean themselves faithfully in office. My concern that we've allowed people to be employed who have either not taken this oath or they are purposely employed to impair the well-being of our state and country. The definition of treason includes the offense of acting to overthrow one's government or harm or kill its sovereign, a violation of allegiance to one's sovereign or to one's state, the betrayal of a trust or confidence, a breach of faith, or treachery. Treason is performing overt acts to help enemies of one's country or government. Acting to aid a hostile power is treason. I would like to feel confident that the managers, supervisors, and other people in charge of MIAC centers realize that allowing people to try to offend, create public misinformation, and other violations of their oath of office makes them just as guilty as the party committing the treasonous acts against our state and country. If we are to have an information and analysis center whose purpose is to protect the citizens, then it is important that the center is held to the highest standards and the employees understand that their oath of office is to protect the people and our Constitution. It is not to protect groups who are against our Constitution. I am concerned that the MIAC has allowed employees to attain a position that should be respected, who openly oppose public groups who have a desire to aid the county sheriff or governor in emergencies or disasters. I am looking forward to this commission making a sweep of the employees of the MIAC and dismissing employees who are working against our Missouri Constitution and our United States Constitution. You all took an oath of office. I am pretty sure you did. If you didn't, you don't deserve to be sitting there. I expect you to uphold your oath.
Any questions of this witness? Okay, thank you for your testimony. Is there anyone who would like to testify who did not sign up on the list? Is there anyone else who would like to provide testimony or comment to the committee?
Good evening. My name is Cordiston. I'm a private citizen of St. Charles. I would like to take an opportunity to thank you all for participating on this committee. I think it's an important job that you have to look into what has occurred with this report and what is going on in these fusion centers. A lot of the things that I might have been interested in saying have been addressed either by members on the committee with their questions or in other testimony here, so I'm going to skip those things. We'll address a question that was asked to somebody else by Representative Scholler. He asked Rob Hillman, I believe, are you afraid of government? I am sorry to say that I am a little afraid of government, to answer that question that you asked. Even before this MIAC report came out, I'll give you an example. I think probably most people on the committee may be familiar with the case earlier this year, the Connecticut mayor who was caught up in a drug sting operation. I believe it was the state of Connecticut. And no knock warrant was executed on his property by the county police. They broke down his door. They shot the family pet with an automatic rifle. The mayor was forced to stand in his underwear in front of his mother-in-law. This was all an error. Now, in this situation, the county officers involved in that error can be held accountable for that mistake. And the people of that community have an opportunity to review that and hold those people accountable. as law enforcement operations become more and more nationalized, which I fully believe is the purpose of these fusion centers, and the testimony given by the Illinois officer, I think, demonstrated the extreme sophistication that they are developing. I am very deeply concerned that the authority of local law enforcement is being impugned by this process and will continue to be impugned by this process. Then, if we have a situation where these errors in law enforcement continue to occur, who do we have redress to then? Somebody in the federal government, somebody in the Department of Homeland Security who we don't know, and it's a lot easier for me to come and speak to you today than it is to speak to somebody in the Department of Homeland Security in Washington. It may be of interest to the committee to take a look at the Cato Institute's website. They have for a number of years now been tracking what they refer to as paramilitary policing activity, and it has a lot to do with narcotics and the drug war. There have been some abuses for a number of years, before the fusion centers, before 9/11, before this MIAC report was released. Those are concerns of citizens who value their liberties, value their constitutional rights. I've been aware of these things for a while. I became much more concerned when the MIAC report was released, because I felt that this represented a further step away from what we would like to see, which is when we have problems of our constitutional rights being violated, they need to be addressable to local members of law enforcement, local government, not the federal government. I would like to see the law enforcement powers in the state of Missouri begin with organizations in the state of Missouri, not to be handled in a top-down fashion from the federal government. And to specifically address, and I'll finish with this, my request to this committee as to what you were addressing, I would like to see that you are able to ensure in some manner that the state of Missouri is always the ultimate authority for law enforcement and policing operations in the state of Missouri, to the extent that you can get some useful information from federal agencies, fine, but state employees, the state law enforcement agencies should be responsible for and accountable to the law enforcement activities that occur here. And I'll just conclude with that. Thank you.
Any questions for this witness?